I will call this meeting to order at 5:30. As you guys can tell, I'm not Chairman Bucky. He asked me to preside over the meeting in his physical absence, so I will try to do it justice by making up motions like he does. Just joking. So, anybody want to approve the minutes or any corrections or changes? All right, motion by Marshall. Is there a second? Second by Quentin. Seeing no comments, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. Motion carries. Any citizen comments? Seeing no citizens, we will move on to number 4, update on tree harvest in Brain Park, presented by Mark Ruskavage. Hopefully I said that correctly. I hate when people do that to me.
I'll just jump in quick as Mark's walking up to the podium there. We've been underway here for a couple of weeks, and we're at a point where we're going to do some, we have logs to sell, and we want to make sure that word gets out there, and Mark will give us some details on that, but take it away, Mark.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. So far, the project is going really good. We're definitely ahead of schedule right now. We had planned January and February being in there, and we're about 10 working days in there, and I'd say we're going to be finished up by the end of the week here, wrapping things up. We've been running a 7-man crew in there, and we got 3 pieces of machinery going. So it's been really just efficient with everybody working. We got 8 piles of logs stacked up, and I would say roughly 25 cords there. And if there's been any hiccups in the process, it has been finding out that the wood is not as desirable as we had so thought. I'm going to contribute to that to probably 3 things, just the wood market right now in general. The prices are really down. The market's flooded. There's a ton of wood out there. And then with the Rapids mill closing. So that being said, I've tried to get a hold of some buyers, and just nobody's really interested in it right now because they can't get rid of it. We're going to go through our local media and news resources and auction off the wood. That's going to be starting, I believe it was posted today, and it's going to be in the news flyer. We're going to try Facebook, and they're going to be, the piles are lettered, and people can go down there and take a look at it. They can submit a bid on 1 pile or as many piles as they want. And that the bid ends on February 14th. And then they're going to have till March 7th to haul the wood out of there. Overall, like I said, the project has gone very well. It's been a really safe process down there. I've been really impressed by all the guys working. They've been following the procedures and safety practices. So that's been nice to see. And then again, it's just, like I said, it's been a really efficient process, going way ahead, or a lot faster than what I anticipated, but a lot of that's accountable for the weather that we've been having too, or the lack of snow. So that's been really nice. We've been able to get down there and really go at it. It's also been, we've been successful at leaving any non-ash species still standing. So there are still a handful of scattered trees left in the area. And then we're scheduled to plant 140 trees this spring back in there. So to get the regeneration process going. So I'm gonna leave it at that. Any questions?
All right, any questions? Go ahead, Dan.
Yep, I would just add, if anybody's listening and interested in getting a bid packet here, they're available here at City Hall between 7:30 and 4 p.m. So stop in, you can get the bid forms and the conditions of the sale. And again, those would be due back to City Hall by 4 p.m. on Monday, February 14th.
All right, anything else from the committee? All right, seeing none, thank you, Mark.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, we will move on to number 5 then, approval of final assessment for 2021 asphalt paving projects, presented by Tom Churchy, city engineer.
All right, this is for the mill in place and ditching, project number 312239, which includes 4th Street from Columbus Avenue to the cul-de-sac, 25th Street, Maple Avenue to Vine Avenue, alley bounded by Central and Maple, Arnold and Blodgett, Arlington Street, Cypress Avenue to Lincoln Avenue, Ash Avenue from Becker Road to Franklin Street, Pine Avenue from 6th Street to 4th Street, Harrison Street, Peach Avenue to the cul-de-sac, Larch Avenue, 5th Street to Adler Road, Adams Avenue from Upham Street to McMillan Street, Blodgett Street, Woods Avenue to St. Joseph's Avenue, Briarwood Street from Lincoln Avenue to Schmidt Avenue, Clark Avenue from Arlington Street to the cul-de-sac, Laurel Court from Laurel Street to the cul-de-sac, Magnolia Avenue, 3rd Street to Adler Road, and Park Street from Adams Avenue to Clark Avenue, then finally 3rd Street, Mulberry Avenue to Magnolia Avenue. The following is a table of the assessable items showing the estimated cost versus the finals on the 4th Street, 25th Street, Arlington Street, Ash Avenue, Pine Avenue, Larch, Adams, Briarwood, Clark Avenue, Laurel Court, Magnolia Avenue, Park Street, and 3rd Street. The asphalt milling and paving of those streets was estimated at $14.66 per linear foot, and the final is came in at $13.33 per linear foot. The sidage for residential is 50% that front foot rate. The sidage for commercial is 75% the front foot rate. And the driveway aprons were estimated at $20.94, and the final was $19.04. The alley that's bounded by Central Maple, Arnold, and Blodgett, the milling and the asphalt paving was estimated at $13.10 per linear foot. The final was $11.91 per linear foot. Again, sidage for residential is 50%, and the sidage for commercial is 75%. Continuing down the items, Harrison Street was done a little bit differently than the other streets, and it's a little different width. Harrison was milled versus total replacement. The estimated special assessment was $16.87 per linear foot, and the final came in at $14.44 per linear foot. And then Blodgett Street from Wood Avenue to St. Joseph's Avenue. The front foot assessment rate was $14.66 per linear foot. The final was $11.55 per linear foot. The driveway apron stayed the same as the other previous projects. On this project, we estimated 6-inch sanitary sewer laterals at $41.23. They came in at $37.95. There were several properties on this project that had a storm sewer assessment. Those were estimated at $13.03, and the final was $11.84. And we did replace copper water services and curb stops on this project. The water services, the 1-inch copper was estimated at $40.49, and the final was $36.81. And likewise, the 1-inch copper curb stop was estimated at $421.45, and the final was $386.33. So I have a table with all the estimated special assessments in there. The majority of them did come in less than what was estimated, but we saw were either longer laterals or bigger driveways that caused some of those to go over what was estimated. One parcel on North Broadway actually receives its sanitary sewer and water service from Blodgett Street, crossing a neighboring parcel. This property was not in the original assessment district, so it will require a revised final resolution to include this parcel with these assessment districts before the final assessment can be mailed for that parcel. Therefore, I'd recommend approval of the final assessments for the following projects: 4th Street, Columbus Avenue to the cul-de-sac, 25th Street, Maple Avenue to Vine Avenue, the alley bounded by Central, Maple, Arnold, and Blodgett, Arlington Street, Cypress to the Lincoln Avenue, Ash Avenue, Becker Road to Franklin Street, Pine Avenue, 6th Street to 4th Street, Harrison Street, Peach Avenue to the cul-de-sac, Larch Avenue, 5th Street to Adler Road, Adams Avenue, Upham Street to McMillan Street, Blodgett Street, Wood Avenue to St. Joseph's Avenue, Briarwood Street, Lincoln Avenue to Schmidt Avenue, Clark Avenue, Arlington Street to the cul-de-sac, Laurel Court, Laurel Street to the cul-de-sac, Magnolia Avenue, 3rd Street to Adler Road, Park Street, Adams Avenue to Clark Avenue, and 3rd Street, Mulberry Avenue to Magnolia Avenue. And also recommending including a revised final resolution for the parcel on North Broadway Avenue that was not included within the original special assessment district. Are there any questions?
Any questions at this time? Seeing none, I would entertain a motion. Motion by Fire, second by Quinn. Any other discussion? All right, seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say no. Motion carries. We will move on to approval of easement to Frontier Communications on city-owned property at the corner of 17th Street and Adams Avenue, presented by Tom again.
All right, Frontier Communications is planning a copper cable replacement project where they intend to bury their phone lines along the east 10 feet of a city-owned parcel at the northeast corner of South Adams Avenue and West 17th Street. Frontier currently has their facilities overhead through this corridor, and this location is an upgrade to their existing service. Staff is recommending that we grant the proposed easement. So the city has permitted an easement for the electric utility along the same location to bury their facilities, and Frontier Communications is following suit by burying theirs. So therefore, we'd recommend approval of this easement to coincide with the existing electric utility easement. This will not be it will be a shared easement when everything is said and done.
All right, any questions or comment? Right, I would entertain a motion then. Motion to approve by Quentin, is there a second? Second by Mike. All those in favor say aye. 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 All those opposed say no. Motion carries. We will move on to 7 then, recommended items for future agendas. Are there any recommendations? Go ahead, Dan.
Yeah, I will just mention that you recall the report from Barry Untos last week at the council meeting, and there'll be a need to follow up on that, and we'll be looking for some action. But my thinking is that we would take that right to the common council at the next council meeting, or in February anyway. Since that report was presented to the entire council, I think the discussion makes sense to continue at that level. So that won't be coming back to the board.
Okay, that makes sense to me, but is there any objection to that? All right, sounds good. Thank you. One last call. Any other items for future agendas? All right, seeing none, I will adjourn this meeting at 5:42. Thank you, everybody.